It's Friday, February 13th, 2015, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xtadevelopers.com. First up, a story I think quite a few of you guys will be excited to hear about. As you probably remember, the Xposed Framework isn't compatible with art currently, so if you've upgraded to Lollipop, you've had to do without it. Well, as of this week, Rovo89 posted a screenshot from his device to the forum showing the Xposed Framework starting up on a Lollipop device. Of course, it's not quite ready yet. He says it will be ready soon, but it is already working well, so it's just a matter of time now. OnePlus was in the news quite a few times this week. They announced some of the team members that have been working on OxygenOS, and then they did a follow-up AMA on Reddit. If you'd like to see all the questions that got answered, you can find the link to that down below. Mario also did an article covering everything that we currently know about OxygenOS, including the results of that AMA. One of the questions I've seen several people commenting on from the AMA is whether or not OxygenOS is going to be completely open source, and unfortunately the answer given was no, mostly because proprietary code, apps, and the binaries that come in it. The kernel source is supposed to be released, but beyond that we may not see much. But with that said, CM11S is technically closed as well, if I remember correctly, so there's not really a huge difference there. Speaking of CM11S though, as of this week, a new OTA update for the OnePlus One became available. Unfortunately, it's not Lollipop, but we didn't really figure it would be just yet. However, it does bring along with it MaxxAudio and SwiftKey, and supposedly has an improved version of Apollo, some new media codecs, some NFC fixes, and just a bunch of other things. I received my update earlier, and I've only had a few minutes to really play with it, but MaxxAudio sounds pretty nice so far. Speaking of MaxxAudio though, some new fun toys showed up for the OnePlus One, and XDA senior member Sorrels has already gone ahead and ripped them out with the help of some other forum members and made them available. He says that it works on CM Nightlies, and it should work with other ROMs. You're just gonna have to sort of test it out on your own device and your own ROM. Now moving on to some device updates. As of this week, Lollipop has shown up for the T-Mobile HTC One M8 and the AT&T LG G3 as well. Speaking of the G3 though, LG made an awesome announcement this week that, in certain markets, people who buy the G3 will receive a free VR for G3 headset. The headset is a device based on Google Cardboard's design, but it has some improvements and some changes to take advantage of the design of the G3. Not sure if that changes anyone's mind or makes you want to purchase the G3, but something extra for free is usually a good thing, right? I guess unless it's like herpes or something. Moving along though, the 2013 Moto X still hasn't received Lollipop yet, which is a bit of a bummer, but Motorola tweeted this week that the delay is due to some issues they're having with the chipset. Definitely nice to see they're still working on it, but it is a little bit disconcerting that they're having these sort of issues with their own device. So if you've got the 2013 Moto X, just keep holding on, or maybe check out the forum for one of the official or unofficial Lollipop ROMs that are available if you haven't already. The OmniROM team gave an update this week on the status of a Lollipop-based OmniROM. Part of that update is that KitKat nightlies have stopped in order to allow the team to focus more on getting Lollipop up and going sooner, and a wiki page with statuses for individual devices on Lollipop has been put together. Team Win also put out a new version of Twerp this week, version 2.8.5.0. This brings along with it natural kinetic scrolling, better USB keyboard support, and the GUI now scales itself appropriately with the theme that you're using, so if you are a Twerp user, head on over to their site to get some more information on the update. An interesting article was pointed out on the portal as well this week, talking about how Cyanogen is in talks with companies like Amazon and Microsoft, looking to build a more customized version of Android that they can ship without Google services. As an example, instead of using the Play Store and Gmail, you might get a ROM that comes with Amazon's App Store and Facebook and Microsoft Outlook. I'm gonna be real honest here. That's gonna be a hard sell. But it does lead me to a question. If Cyanogen were to put together a ROM for an OEM that did not include Google services, would it be appealing to any of you? I know when I'm buying a device, when I'm looking to buy a device, if I can't easily get Gmail, YouTube, Hangouts, and Google Plus and other Google services on it, I generally just move along. And actually, speaking of Google, as of this week, they've expanded the capabilities of Google Now, adding in some healthcare and medical information. So now you can say things like, "Okay Google, what are the symptoms of a stroke?"
From Go Red for Women.
And you get a bulleted list of what to look for if you're having a stroke. You can do that for heart attacks, you can do that for all sorts of other medical issues. And you can get symptoms and treatment information and everything on the fly very easily like that. This could technically be a lifesaver for some people. I know that list of stroke symptoms can be the difference between life and death for some people, so it's really nice to see that, and I am extremely pumped by it. There were also a couple of good articles on the portal. Mario wrote about the history of Samsung's Exynos chips, and then he wrote a piece about how as of this week the CTIA standards for mobile device unlocking have gone into effect, so assuming you actually meet the criteria, you might be interested in contacting your wireless provider to set your device free, as it were. Additionally, this week a new forum was added to XDA for the HTC Desire 626, and finally, 3 other videos were posted to XDA TV this week. TK did an app review of ROM Toolbox, then Shane did a ROM review of Liquid Smooth, then TK did an app review of Ampere. But you know what? That's going to be about all from me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about down in the video description, as well as the links to my YouTube channels. Remember, if you like this video, please leave us a like down below the video. We definitely appreciate it. And subscribe to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.